Here is a man who has worked hard all his life, who shows no sign of anxiety, has never spoke about fake news, knows all about education and is single. We have to say a very good morning to the legend, the deputy chairman of the Tory party. He's trying. Matt Vickers, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
All good, all good.
This is lovely to see you so early.
Yeah, I haven't wet the bed, I got up.
Did you?
I haven't had my Weetabix yet.
Probably why you're single, Weetabix and wetting the bed. Let's get straight to the papers, my friend. You'd know far more about this than me. Front page of the Mail for everybody just tuning in to Morning Glory. Labour dumbs down schools. Exams cut by 3 hours. Decolonisation of books and text. I know. What the hell does that mean?
It's terrifying, isn't it? I think basically the government is on a mission. They want to send us out with an army of Greta Thunbergs who can't read, write, and add up. You know, and the reality is actually, if you get the unions to make all of your decisions, if you get the people who bung your cash to make all your decisions, all of a sudden they give you the things that are easy to teach, that they fancy teaching, that teachers like teaching. It's the same with the economy. They're giving everybody huge pay rises. You know, the unions are running the country, and now they're running our schools. Actually, one of the things, you know what, you can criticise the last government for lots of things.
Yeah, no,
one thing they
I'll give you
nailed
this. Yeah,
was
did.
education. We were climbing up league tables. We had the best readers, writers, mathematicians. We were doing very, very well in education. But yeah, it's all gone to pot. Some people might argue the reason that we're trying well, the government are trying to dampen standards. It's a leveller, isn't it? It's a leveller. They're going to create a situation where the likes of David Lammy looks really bright. You know, that's where they're heading.
Is that ever likely to be a feasible thing? I mean, David Lammy looking bright.
Well, you know, if they make everybody else stupid, they look much cleverer. I think that might be part of the strategy.
But I mean, that is frightening. And to me, again, I sound old-fashioned. Other plans include teaching school kids about climate change, or as Richard Tice says, net to stupid zero, how to spot fake news. Isn't it about, I'd love to hear from you this morning, isn't it about teaching our kids, like, how to write, how to read, how to know the difference between right and wrong? Diversity, honest to God, man.
You want kids to be able to leave school, get a job, get on in life. Actually, you're just seeing the complete opposite here. It's what do people fancy teaching? We'll have a go at that. It's disastrous, actually. And it tells you something, though. If you're educating all these kids about diversity and climate change, we're gonna have to create more of those DER jobs. We're gonna have more people working at the council office talking about diversity and climate change and wasting all the money that the rest of us, all those idiots now, sat in their cars waiting to get to work, they're all paying for this rubbish.
I know, and you think to yourself, I'm trying to work out who would imagine this is a good idea. You talked about unions, but somebody like Bridget Phillipson seriously concerns me. When I look at her, I think, what are you on? But dumbing down our schools to what? Achieve a generation, as you said, that are all the same level and don't achieve anything, that what will vote for Labour. I don't know where this stuff comes from. We'll talk about the sick note thing later, but it's almost like we're saying, you're all going to be the same, there's no aspiration, we're going to tax you so there's no point in setting up a business, we don't like anybody succeeding. As you said, we want everybody the same. I think it's an absolute disgrace. I was telling this story the other day. My daughter, Alice, is at university. I won't say where, because she'll murder me at Edinburgh. And she was in a lecture, and the guy literally said, you know, Britain is responsible for every world war. Its army is an aggressor. It's done this. It's colonised the world. It should apologise. It should have more migrants through the door. It should do this. It should do that. And you wonder how people like this, and it worries me in terms of education. I've got grandchildren and young kids. I've got more kids than Boris. But the truth is, you wonder, don't you, when you send them to school now, what they're being told.
Well, you're going to create a generation that hates our own country. But don't worry. They might not be able to read and write, but they'll be able to dance perfectly. You know, it is madness. I've
been somebody for a long time who thinks that education should also be more practical. I know people laugh at me when I say this. I'd love to know your thoughts on this morning. I'd like my kid to be able to leave and know how to change a plug or something in his car. I'm being completely serious. I do think that there are ways that we can make education more practical, but the basis of education... My wife, bless her, right, reads to my kids, if I'm not there, I did it last night, every single night. Does his little bit of homework, does his spellings, which got me thinking, maybe nobody will come on the show this morning. If you do come on the show this morning, either by phone or as a guest, this will be interesting to do to politicians, I'm gonna test whether you, Matt Vickers, and others are educationally normal or subnormal. What's 9 8?
72.
Oh! Vickers gets a point. Brilliant, they answer point.
That means you knew the answer before you asked it.
I'm a mathematical genius. Now, I'm not sure I could do this. How do you spell curriculum? No, don't look at the newspaper. How do you spell curriculum? Come on.
C-U-R-R-I-C-U-L-U-M.
Another point. Matt Vickers, no wonder you're a member of Parliament.
Newtown School, all the way.
What was that?
Newtown School, Stockton.
You went...
School of Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Was it?
It was a proper school, you know. Survival of the fittest. It taught you a bit about life.
Listen, good morning, Jez. If Labour improves schools and help further educate children, will it matter? Who's going to vote for them tossers anyway, says Richie in Grimsby.
That's another reason to make all these kids dumb. We want dumb kids who are stupid enough to vote Labour.
This is Steve. Well, it seems that those who were classed as conspiratists in regards to our kids' indoctrination rather than education were quite right then. There are conspiratist theories, and I don't really buy any of that, but there's a lot of people who will say, genuinely, Labour's on a mission to empower the unions, blanket approach to kids, dumb down all sorts of things. And when you see stuff like this, it's frightening, right?
It's terrifying. It's terrible, but it is. It's feeding into that next wave of people who hate Britain, who are going to be all about the green stuff, and it feeds into their own narrative. Actually, they don't want people asking too many questions. And the reality is, if everybody is able to add up and see the impact of what Rachel Reeves is doing to our economy, they're going to know there's...
Well, we'll get on to her yesterday. I mean, that was quite possibly one of the most boring moments of my life. Labour dumbing down schools, loads of fun. Jez, I'm 65 years of age. Even my dad said we are regressing years ago. We're not levelling up, but levelling down. Always easy to achieve the lowest common denominator, says Steve. Good morning to Sean in Gloucester. He says, the Labour Party will dumb down the kids, hoping they'll be stupid enough to vote for them in the future. With that and Rachel Thieves' completely mad destruction of the economy, I genuinely believe, says Sean in Gloucester, I'd love to know what Matt thinks, that we are in an incredibly difficult and dangerous position in this country.
It's terrifying. We've lost control of the car. These people are at the wheel, and it's driving us off the cliff.
But you know what I'm going to say to you, because we have debates. That's your fault. That is your party's fault. 1,000,000%.
Hadn't fought like cats in a sack. If they hadn't made we let them in. But actually, people out there didn't vote for them. They got 34% of the vote. And they got the majority doing what the hell they want.
What I love, by the way, about this man, for people tuning in, is you've always, on the shows that I've done, you've always said that. It was arguing like cats in... What did you say?
Cats in a sack. Rats in a sack. I don't know which fight's more, actually.
No, three prime ministers. And actually, yes, 34%. But frighteningly, so many people who listen to talk, you know, we're about common sense, and they say, how is this Labour Party? And this is another example, you know, dumbing down education. This is interesting, Jennifer. Get this. You ready for this? She has just Googled what the 3 R's for, and it's come back: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Is that true? I mean, my God, that's another... Don't start me on that. This is ridiculous. Mark in Croydon. Morning, Mark. Hope you're OK. I do think the education needs reform, as we don't really teach things people need, such as finance skills, practical skills. The issue is the education system, I think, is too idealistic and left-wing. They want to push an agenda on kids. How about saving money, cooking, common sense, all those sorts of things? It's true, isn't it?
We were having the big debate yesterday about businesses, about the fact that we can't get people to set up business anymore, partly because they're all getting battered by... at number 11, but also, actually, we don't do business education. Kids don't learn about the benefits of saving money, of work, of building a business. Those real skills that could actually generate them a bit of cash, but also generate cash for the Treasury. We don't teach them those things. We don't teach them the real subjects they need to be learning.
It's not actually in my 3 main news stories today, but I want to talk to you about Rachel Thieves yesterday. Before that, this is interesting. I mentioned earlier that Sick Note Britain is costing 200 billion. This has got you... Apparently kids can't go to school or work because they're suffering from anxiety. Good morning, Laura.
Morning, Jeremy. Laura in Wiltshire. Sick Note Britain. I was in Salisbury yesterday, parked near a McDonald's about 11 o'clock in the morning. There were queues of people, maybe about 10, 15, with big home delivery bags, getting ready to load up. Who is at home getting McDonald's on a Tuesday morning at 11? I wonder.
She's so posh, isn't she? Who is at home on a Tuesday morning getting back? She's right, though, isn't she?
You finish about 10, don't you?
Yeah,
I
don't eat McDonald's. You don't get a body like this by eating McDonald's. Can I just ask you, as the Deputy Chairman of the Tory party, Reeves waffle bomb, as it says in front of the Daily Mail this morning. The speech was all bluster and lies, but one thing is very clear. Every striver in the land is about to be clobbered for her and the Labour Party's complete incompetence. I thought it was absolutely unbelievably ridiculous, that speech yesterday. She didn't say what she's going to do, but you and I know exactly what Rachel Reeves is going to do on November the 26th.
Well, the problem is, I don't know how much worse it can get. When you look at what's happening, I mean, I don't think actually the public have picked up to how bad things are. I think when you see our businesses are closing at the fastest rate since the world economic crash, when things went completely off the cliff before, businesses were closing at the same rate. If we're in that position, if 17% more people are joining the dole queue and are unemployed, what does that mean to what gets spent tomorrow? If you're not working, if you're not earning, if you're not able to provide for your family, if you're not able to live out your dreams, you then have to rely on the state to fund you, which means all those guys sat in the car this morning on the way to work, they're all going to be paying for more people to be on benefits. It's terrifying, and it's only going to get worse. And
as a true Tory, actually, genuinely to you for once, it must frustrate you so much that the problems that your party went through and the fact that you lost sight of what I've talked about many times, our traditional Tory values, which is low tax, encouraging growth by encouraging business, celebrating success, building just a feeling of attainment, that all of this is being crushed under this mad Labour ideology of, as you said earlier, everybody's got to be the same, we don't like success. Nobody's worked out, have they, in her damn department, that anybody who's successful, all these people apparently who are leaving the United Kingdom, people who have made a lot of money, built businesses, employed people, paid millions to the exchequer in tax, are going to disappear off to Dubai and will lose that as well. I don't understand. I don't know whether they're just mad or they're just full of hatred for anybody that's ever achieved anything. It's so narrow-minded, in my opinion, and dangerous.
Well, they just want to tie... I mean, we had a big debate yesterday in Parliament around the fact that, you know, you've got this unemployment bill coming down the line where anybody who dares to employ anybody, not only are they paying all this money NNI and being taxed to death for it, they're then going to be tied up in red tape where everything is on the side of dodgy employees, actually, making it harder for anybody who wants to take the punt, employ someone, create a job. And the people who lose out, are the people who end up out of work, but more importantly, it's the young people, because you can't take the risk of employing the young person anymore, so they don't get their foot on the job ladder. It's a disaster, and it's getting worse.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it right, actually, not interesting to say that, and you're only 42 and single, isn't it interesting to, we'll talk more about that, isn't it interesting to say that I mean, I'm old enough to remember 79, and what the Labour Party has always done, I said it yesterday, is not spend what they earn, they spend more to complement their union mates or whatever. We then end up in a situation where we are borrowing so much, we go to the IMF on bended knee, they give us a loan, we pay ridiculously large amounts of interest, and the country is skin. And I go back for a reason. You know, the one thing that I always thought about the Tory party for years and years was that those fiscal responsibilities, the law and order, the military, the borders, and that must frustrate you so much, because this is madness. Financially, I think she's probably the most incompetent chancellor I've ever witnessed in my 60 years. The education thing this morning, it isn't an overreaction to say it's frightening. We've got loads of response. Mick in Wallington, to protect pupils and staff, CCTV must be installed in classrooms and university tutorial rooms. I worry about what's being told. Paul from Manchester, morning, mate. He says, morning, Matt. The school curriculum is broken. When I was at school, I learnt woodwork, metalwork and home economics. Absolutely.
He could have gone out and got a real job, made things, did things.
Sign on. No,
money,
come on.
No,
No, for goodness sake, why not sign on? Do you know what? I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. A member of my family, he signed on when he was going through what he was going through. And actually, the reason he signed on was he was getting more doing bugger all every week than going to work in a McDonald's or in a basic job. And I don't understand that. I always thought that the welfare state was to say, you know what, if you're in hard moments, we'll support you. But we're now in a situation where it seems to help people who aren't prepared to put anything in. And then when you do go there and you go, oh, by the way, I've I've worked for 10 years. I'm having a hard time. You can't have anything. On the economy, it says Sean in Bridlington. Have you been to Bridlington?
I have. Beautiful place. You go on your holidays there.
I was off at a summer season there one. I'm joking. I'm dissolving my limited company today. It was to be an AI tech business we've been developing since April. I'm no longer see the point in doing it. It's ridiculous. I'm chucking it in.
He's one of hundreds of people across the country doing exactly the same thing. Looking at what the government's doing to people who dare to get up early, to go out to work, to try and earn a living and create jobs, and they're having to make these decisions. It's horrifying. It has real consequences for people.
Let's listen to Rachel Reeves. This is previous promises on tax. Just to refresh.
Conservatives are now the party of high tax. On their watch, the tax burden is the highest in 70 years. I worked as an economist at the Bank of England before entering politics. I know what it takes to run a successful economy. I believe in sound money and in public spending that's kept under control. I did not come into politics to raise taxes on working people. So my promise to you is this. Labour will not put up your income tax, national insurance or VAT.
Let's just fast forward to yesterday, because that wasn't yesterday, that was some time ago. This was yesterday, Rachel Reeves.
I will make the choices necessary to deliver strong foundations for our economy. My budget, led by this government's values of fairness and opportunity, and focused entirely on the priorities of the British people, protecting our NHS, reducing our national debt, and improving the cost of living.
She's a liar, isn't she?
Somebody asked yesterday in the House of Commons, they said, would she know the truth if it hit her in the face, given her a sloppy CV, given her pledges on tax, and it was ruled out. The Speaker would not let them ask the question. But I mean, it's terrifying. All these pledges to get behind the wheel of the car and drive this country off the edge of the cliff, and they get away with it. But who haven't they lied to? Which promise have they not broken? If you're a pensioner, if you're a farmer, if you're a small business person, it's just...
If you're a waspy woman, if you're a farmer, if you're a pensioner, all of us. And I think that, I mean, we'll move on and we'll talk about Sick Note Britain later, but I think there is a growing, and I've said this many times and I make no apology, I just think that for years we've all done our bit and behaved as impeccably as we can. But when the country's skint, and food is 3 times more, and electricity prices, energy prices go up, and when you feel like you're still putting it in and others are getting more and the government doesn't even listen, I think the silent majority have had it, mate. And I'm not conspiratorial. I'm not trying to say we should... I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying I think the silent majority have suddenly gone, do you know what? My voice matters. This was your leader. You know Kemi Badenoch, do you?
Yeah.
This was she described the speech yesterday as a waffle bomb. Have a watch.
Chancellor's speech was one long waffle bomb. A laundry list of excuses. She blamed absolutely everybody else for her own choices, her own decisions, her own failures. She claims she will focus on the priorities of the British public. Whose priority is it to pay more tax? It is basic economics that if you tax something, you get less of it. Remember those graduates who aren't finding work? Some people are blaming AI. It's not AI's fault. You can draw a direct line between what Rachel Reeves did in the budget last year and the dire prospects that many of those graduates are facing now.
I'm going to tell you a story briefly before we go to a break. I told it before on Drive. A friend of mine's partner has kids, and one of the daughters is dating a young man who got a first-class honours degree in economics from Durham University. 9 GCSEs, 4 A-levels, the equivalent of, and he'd done internships.
Good Northern University.
Yeah, wanted to work in the finance business, spent a year and sent 200 applications for jobs and never heard anything back, and was told by a friend of his, and this is absolutely on my life, was told by a friend of his to change on his application 2 words. He wrote non-binary and he was given 4 interviews in the next 2 weeks. The world's gone mad, Matt Vickers.
If only he'd studied some climate change subject, he'd have been, you know...
So there you are. If you're going to school, by the way, you won't be learning about the 3 hours. You'll be learning about a decolonisation of books, because you need to be diverse. You'll be learning about net stupid zero and to spot fake news, which is what we'll be talking about after this break. very good morning to you. Just gone 6:30. This is JK on Morning Glory. Three main news stories we're covering today. Educational vandalism. That's what Labour's been accused of this morning. Are you ready for this? They want to decolonise the books your kids read to create diversity. They want to teach our kids about climate change and how fake news is really important. Talking of which, the BBC under more pressure this morning. Yesterday, you might have seen. I'm going to play it. This was absolutely extraordinary yesterday. This is not pro-Donald Trump. This is anti-the BBC, the organisation that's supposed to be what? Our national broadcaster, wants more money from you every day. This is them. Firstly, I'll play you what they played on Panorama about Trump's speech over the Capitol Hill riots. I'll then play you what he actually said. The speeches were 52 minutes apart. Have a watch, have a listen.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Matt Vickers, Deputy Chairman of the Tory party. I mean, the BBC, I will continue to take aim. That is utterly, utterly disgusting. More this morning, they're said to have minimised Israeli suffering in its coverage of the war to paint Israel as the aggressor. They still refuse to call Hamas terrorists. What do you make of the BBC?
It's entirely atrocious to edit someone's speech like that. I mean, it's bad enough when you see the clips and the bits that people want to, without context on these interviews that you give, but actually to edit the thing is a disgrace. Yeah, actually, it's not unprecedented for the BBC to stoop to new levels. We saw that Bob Crook or Bob Villain or whatever the hell he's called. We saw him broadcast from Glastonbury with this
5 hours.
Absolutely anti-Semitic crap that nobody kicked, nobody caught.
Death to the IDF.
Some ridiculously overpaid executive is responsible for that.
Tim Davie,
job for it.
The Director General was at Glastonbury and allowed that to be streamed for 5 hours. Now, another thing, sorry, this is just me and this is very personal. I know I find any racism abhorrent. I've said it repeatedly, but I will forever talk about how anti-Semitism is not given the same credence as other racism in this country. I think the way the Jewish community has been treated is disgusting. I have no idea how Tim Davie survives.
You saw that documentary, the Hamas terrorist's son voicing over a documentary.
And he got paid, by the way. And he got paid for it.
The book has to stop. This isn't me and you having to go on YouTube and create news. These are very well paid people, paid by the taxpayer. We are forced to cough up money to subsidise this absolute garbage. It cannot be allowed to go on. Somebody needs to be held to account. If David doesn't think he's the man, he should have got rid of somebody else. This cannot be allowed to carry on. Funded by the taxpayers.
So the other thing that I don't understand about the BBC, and Reform are quite outspoken about the BBC, is seemingly it's sort of on this pedestal, a bit like the NHS. It wants more and more money. It refuses to live in a world of choice, which the rest of us have to do. You know, you have to subscribe. You have to prove your worth with figures and with response. But the BBC is this sort of huge sort of, I don't know, thing that's been around forever, but surely the basis of a national broadcaster is that you want responsible broadcasting, you want unbiased broadcasting. This sounds like a label, it's not meant to. This is a left-wing, ideologically based, completely warped, money-grabbing, out-of-date waste of space, isn't it?
You're right, it could have a real value. Had it been neutral, had it been a real national broadcast, it could add real value. And actually, the other problem is whenever they cut the BBC, they cut the wrong bits. Because where the BBC subsidises its regional, local coverage, the bit that big commercial organisations can't get involved, well, can't really fund and make work, that regional news that people really value and want to hear. But that's where they take the axe first, and instead, you know, the money's filtered off to the likes of Gary Lineker to have great whopping wages and feed out rubbish like this. That's outrageous. Biased.
Loads of responses this morning. 87222. Start your message with the word talk. Hello to Brian, who simply says, I'm up north. You see, the Labour Party would think that was just north of Watford Gap. Morning, Jez. I've said for years now for parents to look at their kids' curriculum and maybe question the direction of education. Homeschooling, in my opinion, is on the increase and will continue to be so. I can hear the arguments between parents and their kids over what is being forced upon them. We shouldn't be teaching children how to think. We should be giving them the tools to become better adults. else, Jez, I live in an area where teachers, this is from Kev Mears, interesting, this is from Shropshire, teachers and retired teachers live in what seems to be in disproportionate numbers. I'm about the same age as you, and for a long time I've believed that teachers are only interested in creating people in their own image, so they're busy implementing Blair's dream of 50% university educated. Great that is, those university educated ones don't do normal jobs. We need to be talking to people about the reality of life. Most people like me who are self-employed, plumbers, decorators, bricklayers, sell stuff, contractors to bigger companies, are independent. I control my own time. The fact of the matter is I think we should be doing it differently for our kids. They are the future. Shane's got a point on education. Morning, Shane.
Right, Jez, and my old mate Shane here in Bournemouth. Going back to that university lecturer saying that Britain's responsible for every war and this, that and the other. They shouldn't be teaching kids stuff like that, because they're teaching the kids to hate the great-grandparents who fought in that war and the great-uncles who fought in that war. How can these university lecturers turn around and say that we're responsible for everything? It's disgusting. And they should be absolutely sacked from their jobs. So, anyway, that's my grumpy rant over with the morning. Have a good day, mate.
Great, 25. It's right, though, isn't he? Why do governments? Right. You were in power for 14 years. Why is there not more control? I know, look at his face. Just think why is there not more control over the education?
They've literally took the brakes off, and the unions are now running the show. The reality is we are going to create a generation of people who hate Britain. We have so much to be proud of in this country. It is atrocious. It is disastrous. We're going to have a gang of Greta Thunbergs who hate Britain, who can't add up, who can't read and write. It is disastrous.
Is it now politically unacceptable to? I mean, I struggle with I'm proud of my country because of the mess this country's in. But is it being taught to kids that we shouldn't be proud of anything?
Everything we've done, everything we've ever achieved, everything, you know, part of that. Some of those wars were about us going out there and doing the right thing for the world to
Guess who abolished slavery, wars. People? The British. But you won't hear that, will you?
It's grim. It's very, very grim. And actually, it's probably one of the biggest responsibilities of government is to, A, help people get jobs, get on in life and work hard. And the next thing that we as a generation have to do is to be able to hand over something better than what we inherited. And that is just not going to happen the way that we're going on.
I do find it frightening that, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, on the day we wake up and apparently educational vandalism is being levelled at this Labour government. It's all about diversity, it's about climate change, it's about this, it's about that. The very basics of you know, you know, Thatcher used to say, Norman Tebbit, if you want a job, get on your bloody bicycle. You know, if you want to buy your house, save up. Aspiration, that's the word I was looking for this morning, seems to go out the window with this government. Yeah. Aspiration is something that it's frowned upon to want to get on.
Working hard, doing the right thing, climbing the ladder, disastrous, terrible thing that people should want to aspire to achieve something in life. But I also feel sorry for some of the teachers out there. There are great teachers out there who actually want to create kids who can go out and conquer the world and get great jobs, but they're leaving the trade.
That's a really good point. Well done, Matt Vickers. Should be a radio presenter. I'd love to hear from teachers this morning. I mean, I could wind you up and say you get 20 weeks holiday a year, but I don't mean that. I'd love to know from genuine teachers who vocationally do it because they care, as Matt said. How do you feel about a system that's telling you that you should be pushing diversity, climate change, how to spot fake news? Do you believe that's right, or is it impinging on your abilities to do right by those kids? 0344 499 1000. Dave in Aberdeen. How long before we'll have to have a Starmer haircut for men and a Rachel Thieves one for women? Welcome to the Socialist Republic of Doom. It's not great, is it? Hello to Keith. He says, Rachel from accounts is the sole reason people have lost faith in politicians. Everyone knows she's going to raise income tax. Can't she just come out and say it? I didn't really understand that whole thing yesterday morning.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is, I don't know how well she did at school, but if you're that creative in writing your CV, we could all get great jobs in the future, regardless of how we do it.
Did she not look frightened to you yesterday? She was like that. She looked like somebody said she looked like a sort of a drone, a sort of AI. It was just like it just didn't work, did it?
A drone might do a better job, I think.
I'm going to play this voice note, but all I've got is Anna on the. Nothing else has come through. What is it on? Do you want me to play it? I can't hear you. There, I'll just play it. This is Anna. Good morning.
Morning, Jez. Anna, sorry. So I've started businesses since I was 20 years old. I'm the wrong side of 50 now. Currently, I have one sole trader. I stop when I hit a certain income bracket because I refuse to pay this monstrous government any more tax, and I no longer employ anyone. I would love to start a business, but I'm not going to until reform get into. Why? Because I work in the luxury industry, and right now, no one, even fairly well-off people, have got the money to spend if I start a business. There's no point. There's no point in doing anything until this government are out. I might even sign on, Jez. That might be fun.
Don't be so ridiculous. What I want to know from that call is luxury industry. You should have seen the boys through the glass. They're going, I wonder what that is. Furs, handbags. Any other thoughts? Matt Vickers has got right in the face. Is it the time to talk about how you're single? Is it difficult as a politician? You told me the other day, what should you do? I said, walk through IKEA.
I probably need to get in the luxury industry.
Need to borrow a child. I can lend you one. I've got 6. And this is a genuine fact. Go to the supermarket and walk up and down the frozen aisle. See, Christian and I, Nick can borrow his kid as well. We'll give him a break. Women love 40-year-old men. Oh, he's got his little niece or nephew out.
Why the frozen food aisle? Is that
I don't know. Why did I say?
That means you're cost effective. You're buying frozen food. It's you're sensible.
Any aisles that are available at this moment, Matt. So give that a go, all right?
I'll give it a whirl. I'll let you know how I get on next.
It must be difficult as a politician to find love.
Well, we'll see what messages come in.
Blind MP date in the next 20 minutes. 20 to 7, 0344 499 1000. We want to hear from you on those 3 main news stories this morning. Labour are being accused of educational vandalism. When your kids go to school, they're going to learn about climate change, fake news, and how we need to decolonise books and text to help diversity. Let's forget maths and English. More fake news from the BBC. I'm not... somebody had a go at me yesterday. Are you saying that you shouldn't buy a licence fee? Not at all. If you want to pay a licence fee, I just don't think in this world, for an organisation that's supposed to be unbiased and patently isn't, we should be paying 180 quid. I think the Director General should be sacked. I think they're a biased, ideologically based waste of space. And coming next, get yourselves ready. Sick note Britain. Don't know where you are, waiting to queue up somewhere to go to work, about to get out your car, you've been already 2 hours up, or like me, 2:30. Sick note Britain's costing 200 billion quid a year, peeps. Half of young people are not working because of anxiety and bad nerves. No comment. Just go to the ad break before I lose it. Welcome back. Very good morning to you. It's approaching 6:45 on Wednesday, the 5th of November. 2 important moments. It is, of course, firework night. We'll talk about that. Bonfire night. Also, it's the day that a year ago Donald Trump secured his 2nd term as president. We'll be playing some of his best bits during the show, but I want to talk to you about Sick Note Britain. Matt Vickers, Deputy Chairman of the Tory party with me. I just have to really control myself. Sick Note Britain, Matty, is costing more than 200 billion a year. We learned this morning that half of young people are not working because of anxiety and bad nerves. This report was created by the former John Lewis boss, Sir Charlie Mayfield, who says that work can be demanding. This is what people told him, but setbacks in his mind are part of life. And people, their feelings like I'm tired, stressed, I hate my boss, shouldn't be sort of confused with genuine health things. So, where I come from, you had to basically be losing an arm for my mother to give us a day off school, or the fact that you didn't go to work, right? That's the way it was. You had to graft. That's you got from something. I do that with all of my kids. You're not getting anything for nothing, right? Are we not also, apart from educating them wrongly, breeding a generation of entitled kids? Sorry, that's what I think, who are not being taught that you have to make an effort, start at the bottom, work your way up. We're giving them too much, too quickly, for too long.
I think, do you know what? I mean, the reality is there's something like 3,000 people a day are signing on to sickness and incapacity. But someone's got to pick up the tab for that. Do you know what I mean? And actually, young people who have bad nerves and anxiety, the best thing you can do for those young people is send them to work.
Yeah.
It makes them more rounded individuals.
Do you know what they say to me? They go, the thing is, it was COVID. Everybody was at home. Well, don't work from bloody home. Go to the office, interact, meet people, but they don't like this. We need to be in an environment where we don't feel we're being judged, where we don't feel it's competitive. Why? Well, competition's good, isn't it?
We've just been talking about education. Oh, less exams. They're hard. Life is hard. Yeah. Life is about work, it's about getting on, about doing things that you might not like to do, but they're very necessary to do. That's the education system is going to make this worse. We've got more people signing on than ever before. But actually, the other problem is we haven't got the jobs to go around at the minute. 100,000 jobs have been lost in the hospitality sector. That's jobs in communities across the country. And those are the jobs usually that the young person gets, collecting the glasses, pulling the pints on a Saturday night. It's horrendous. The world is getting we are handing to the next generation a much worse world than we inherited.
I think the traditional values of hard work and you know, it goes so deep for me. I was brought up that you opened a door for a woman, you worked hard, you didn't break the law. You've now got kids who decide, I mean, for me, the welfare state was a great invention, one of the greatest in the world, to help people who can't help themselves. It's become a career choice. That is fundamentally wrong. We're creating a generation that can choose to sign on. I'm not saying that in a sweeping way for people who are about to go, I've been looking for work for, yeah, you have, bless you, and that's what's wrong, because those who are and turn to the welfare state for help are missing out, because it's either illegal migrants or people who are gaming the system. £200 billion a year because people are going, oh, a mate of mine has 12 people working for him, and this particular individual was crap. I'm not going to dress it up. It's the morning. And he sort of played with his conscience. What do I do? So he basically, he told them. Well, I mean, they took 3 months off for anxiety. You're not very good at your job. Let me make suggestions about how you could do it better. I'm not coming in for 12 months, and 12 weeks.
The cost is to the taxpayer, or actually it's people who genuinely need help. The people who need it as a safety net, who need help getting into it, can't get it because there's so many hundreds, thousands more people joining that pile of people who, without aspirations, without the ability to take home that pay packet, it is so grim.
I started work at 12 cleaning cars. I wanted to clean more cars than anybody else at what it was in those days, £1 a car or whatever, I don't know. So this morning, if you're waking up to Morning Glory, we're talking about how Labour wants to decolonise books and text to create diversity in kids' schools. They want to teach your kid about climate change and also important things like fake news. Your thoughts on that will be welcome. The BBC is also under more pressure today, having doctored that Trump speech yesterday. They've been accused of minimising Israeli suffering and painting Israel as the aggressor in the war. This is an organisation, to be fair, who still won't call Hamas a bunch of terrorists. And if you are heading out for work, queuing for traffic, wondering how you're going to pay your bills, just sign on, because let's be honest, sick note, Britain's costing $200 billion a year. Save that, park your car at the side of the road, phone up somebody and say, I'm feeling very anxious, I can't come in today, I'm going to take 12 weeks off. Good Lord. Sean's in Warwickshire. He says, good morning, Jeremy and single Matt. I have an email from my granddaughter's school, this is terrible, where she's being taught Islamic ways and Islamic history. She's 10 years of age. I couldn't be less happy about this situation. What do I do?
It's terrifying. But I mean, the other thing is you're seeing the real subjects making space for this. Yep. You're making, you know, the maths, the English are going out the window. But then they're on about removing foreign languages. I was never any good at French, but actually I think that every kid should have the right. It shouldn't be something that people have to go to posh private schools to be able to access. Because I don't mean to be rude. Too busy loading people up with this junk.
I don't like the French, right? I agree with you, but I'd actually prefer the kids in this country to be able to speak and write English, unless I'm missing the point. Do you know what I mean? Morning, just I haven't watched BBC programmes for 3 years now, including the news or the ITV News. It feels like they're just lying to the public. Sarah from Wiltshire. By the way, talk is all the news I need and all I watch. Thank you. Good morning to Neil. If school kids are going to be talk about climate change and fake news, wouldn't it be better to combine them into the same lesson? No, I'd say ban it all. Steve's in Cambridge. There's no point in sacking the CEO of the BBC. He would just be replaced by someone else in the corporation. It's rotten to the core. Just close it. Gillian from Essex. Guys, we have a company with like-minded people and we have a laugh. We will not hire now because you cannot say anything because someone might get offended. I'm 70. In my time, you could meet potential partners. It used to be fun. Anxiety is life. Only the young now thinks that anxiety makes them sick. I don't know whether to feel sad for them. I just feel angry. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't. My kids grow up. I don't get it. I don't understand how you don't want to improve on things.
Well, I thought that was quite an interesting observation. That it doesn't watch the BBC anymore because it tells that. Well, it does. We've just seen how it does tell lies. That fake news that it completely proliferates is disastrous.
Max is in Minchinhampton. Do you know where Minchinhampton is?
Sounds posh.
Yeah. Morning, JK. Another woke story for you. A prep school for 3 to 7-year-olds in Epsom has banned the term Mufti Day for the last day of term. It has rebranded Own Clothes Day because the head teacher felt that Mufti was colonialist. She's also said it's not a faith school, but they celebrate Diwali. In a way, she's right. The staff have lost complete faith in her.
I've never heard of mufti before.
Mufti is when you can wear your home clothes. You probably know that word in another context, but I don't know really. But so it's Own Clothes Day. So Mrs. Carl, morning, she's watching with Ollie and Iris. Morning, sweetheart. Oliver has mufti days. Can't call it that anymore, Vic. It's own clothes day. That's unprofessional. Paul in Crewe. Been to Crewe?
Yep.
I'm a secondary PE teacher, and I've just had a look at the list of experts involved in the education review. Not a single name from the world of industry and business. Catherine Burblesing, one of, if not the best head teacher in the country, is not involved. Get her on the show to review the curriculum changes. Be good to know her views. Very true. That
is a cracking idea. That is something you should definitely be doing. We'll text her after the show.
Right, OK, sorry, honestly, he's now calling the shots. Matt Vickers only been here 50 minutes. No wonder you're single, domineering. So could you try and get Catherine Burblesing? It'd be very interesting. Very good. We're going to come back with Donald Trump. Sum up Donald Trump in one sentence.
Well, he's a mover, he's a shaker, he's turning things up.
He's
solving the Middle East peace process. The guy, scares people a little bit, but gets things done.
It's the day a year ago he won his second term. After the break, some of his best bits. We'll go to that break with a voice note on Perry. Perry, good morning.
Morning, Jeremy. Like I said before, I've stepped away from Conservatives and I have gone Reform. And the reason for me is that 50% of the Conservative parties are Lib Dems, 40% are Greens, and only 10% are actual true Conservatives. And they are the only ones that come on radio stations like yours, the 10%. It's like the other 90% have just been told to keep quiet, step back until after the next election.
Welcome back. Morning Glory is on. It's Wednesday, the 5th of December. No, it isn't November. It's bonfire night, the day that Donald Trump, 12 months ago, secured his second term. Let's look at this. This is brilliant. This is reminisce. Do you remember when he worked in McDonald's? Have a watch.
She doing a good job?
Does an excellent job.
She better, right? Yeah, she's beautiful. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there. Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yup.
Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it, huh? How are you? What a good-looking family. Thank you. How did you produce those good-looking kids? Oh, they look like the wife. They look like the wife. How are you? Nice to see you.
Brilliant. Genuinely. Can you imagine a politician in the United Kingdom doing that? He's just got the common touch, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, when you contrast him with Starmer, there couldn't be a bigger contrast. Because there's a guy with character, who's interesting. He's got better hair, he's got better tan, he's interesting.
And he does what he says he's going to do. Very quickly on that, Tim, on the way to London, can he ask Matt how he feels about making manifestos a legal contract, no delivery or significant advance on promises, you're sacked?
I think, do you know what, if there's one lesson we've learned during this Parliament with this government, it's not to believe a thing that's written in a manifesto. They've broken every promise they made. They have one promise left, and they're going to break it when they deliver that manifesto.
Graham says you seem like a decent guy and he believes you're wasting your career with a party that can't even decide policy on their own front bench. Graham's in Inniskillen.
I think, do you know what the big difference is between us and the other guys, and the reason why I'm sticking with it? I remember when I formed my opinions about political parties, and there was a choice. There was the Labour Party, who want to cut everything up, divvy everything up, and even if you can't be bothered to go to work, good on you, doesn't matter. And then there was a party that is about aspiration, that's about reducing benefits, that works hard, that enables people. And actually, the contrast remains that we're going to be the people who balance the book. We're the people who are going to keep that two-child cap in place.
You got a minute and a half, Matt Vickers. You are a legend. On page 3 of the Mail, I have to do this for you. This is a test of how you are. Are you or are you not a gentleman in 39 steps? I failed miserably. 5 questions for you. Are you a good kisser?
I'm sure somebody will tweet and give a view on that.
Do you enjoy gin in a tumbler, not a balloon? It's brilliant.
Easy.
Who was the best 007? Roger Moore?
I agree. I think Roger Moore was the best.
Absolutely outrageous. It was Sean Connery. Can you poach and scramble eggs?
Could have a go.
And this is the big one. Are you a gentleman? Do you use moisturiser?
Do I look like it? Man, no, you were hating me earlier and you gave me a few years off.
Do you use moisturiser?
I probably have a go at it, but I imagine it's, yeah. I'm not particularly good on the health.
I agree with that text. You're one of the few Tory MPs that comes here, puts your neck on the line. You're very honest. We're delighted to have you on the paper review.